question is that the motion be agreed to.
Mr. Speaker.
I call the Honourable Nanaia Mahuta.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to take a call in this first reading of the Kermadec Ocean Sanctuary Bill and register Labour's support for this bill to go to Select Committee. And I want to acknowledge our previous spokesperson, Ruth Dyson, because she long believed in extending the Kermadec Island Marine Reserve into the EEZ well before it was national policy. She also believed that it was important, if we were going to lead in this space, that having a sanctuary going out into the EEZ would send a very clear signal that not only are we a country that is surrounded by water, we believe that the protection of the marine ecosystem is a priority and that we, of all countries, should take leadership in that space. Mr. Speaker, it would be trite to make that comment with the absence of pointing to some of the aspects of the bill that I think will provide an opportunity for submitters to contribute to improving what is already there. The Minister made comment of the Kermadec Islands and the role of Ngāti Kuri and Te Ao Pauri in being represented on the management model. They refer to the Kermadec Islands, I understand, as Rangitahua. It is an area that is well known within our navigational stories throughout the Pacific. That was a place of stopover. It also was a place where migratory mammals, marine species, would often pass, and people noted those stories in the times of the seasons. But let's come back to the bill. This will be the first time that an ocean sanctuary has been extended into the EEZ, and as the Minister said, all the world around, they will be looking at this particular model as an opportunity to gain greater understanding about what more countries could do to take leadership in the area of protecting geological and marine biological diversity. The area, as was mentioned, includes the world's longest chain of underwater volcanoes, as I said, a migratory pathway for marine mammals, home to a significant number of threatened and endangered species, and also an area where a number of species, fish that is fished commercially, is also caught. It is an opportunity, I think, when it gets to Select Committee to hear some of the concerns. I just note the concern of Te Hui Kaimoana with regards to the fisheries settlement and the fact that the Minister is not entertaining any compensation for the loss of rights in the FMA 10 area. Yet it's in direct contrast to how the approach for the marine protected areas discussion document, what they're proposing there. It will lift the recognition and participation of iwi and kaitiakitanga in the greater marine space to a whole nother level. It proposes, Minister, you propose to set up a management committee with a representation of iwi, which I understand falls a little bit short of what they were hoping for, but it is a start in their mind. On that note, I want to acknowledge both Rick Weitana and Harry Burkhardt, who represent Te Ao Pauri and Ngāti Kuri respectively, and have made very positive comments in terms of an enduring relationship to promote marine protection from their particular perspective and in their part of the world. The issues around marine scientific research is provided for, albeit by way of a process. So we're anticipating that there will be submissions in relation to the transitional provisions, in particular the issues that have been recognised in the departmental statement, and I want to just comment on that. In particular, they say that there is no proposal to protect area-specific Māori commercial fishing interests awarded under the fisheries deed of settlement or any customary fishing interests from the impact of the sanctuary's creation. This lack of protection is likely to be criticised as failing to uphold Māori interests protected in the principles of the Treaty of Waitangi. Both Matthew Ray and Peter Douglas have commented on that. However, Shane Jones did make the comment that very little fishing is happening in that part of the world. So I anticipate that the Select Committee will be able to ask questions on this particular point and gain some clarity of some of the issues. On the issue of the marine scientific research, obviously we believe that the balance of opinion should be in favour of protecting the marine ecosystem, but it will come down to the process that is being proposed and is outlined in Part 2, Clause 13 to 22 of the bill. I anticipate that there will be a lot of discussion around the way in which, for example, consultation occurs and the information going to the EPA before a decision is being made. I want to come back to a comment that was made around illegal fishing in the EEZ and the extent to which it may or may not impact on this bill. But the point was well made that unless you're monitoring what's happening right out in that part of the world, anything could happen. So while I definitely applaud the extension of the Kermadec Sanctuary Bill to include the EEZ for all the right reasons, and the fact that it is taking a leadership stance and covers 15% of our EEZ, so it could be just the start. It really is about how the monitoring and management of that particular area is going to be undertaken with a level of rigour that gives us an assurance what we think we're protecting is being protected well. With that said, Minister, I note with respect that many of the issues that affect treaty rights in particular have not been dealt with very well by yourself. Both the housing first right of refusal approach, where you totally ignored treaty interests that were expressed, the marine protected areas proposal, which cuts across fishing interests, and the Kermadec bill in relation to the 92 fisheries settlement interest, I think are all areas where through the Select Committee, again, I anticipate that there will be a lot of, or some submissions that address this particular area. Once the bill gets to Select Committee, it will receive a very robust hearing from all quarters. Labour will be very open to many of those concerns, but again, I come back to the primary matter of a Ocean Sanctuary Bill which extends into the EEZ. It is a positive step. It will lead the world stage in marine area protection and it has been viewed, albeit at its very initial stage, as a positive step forward for New Zealand. Kia ora.
Kia ora.